Hey, what's up, everybody? This is a fantastic podcast. Today is all about choosing growth. And instead of allowing bad things to happen to us and seeing the growth that comes from that in the distant future, putting ourselves instead in challenging situations over and over and over again so that you can choose how you want to grow and how fast you want to grow. Welcome to the podcast, everybody. After the intro, I'm excited to dive all in. Welcome to the Dr. Jordan Fairley podcast. This show is for people who are ready to implement immediate actionable strategies and insights in health, business, and life. Inside each episode, I'll share with you my biggest aha moments, stories, and interviews to introduce new ways to reframe your current situation and reclaim your life. I'm your host, Dr. Jordan Fairley. Welcome to the show. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode. I just got to say that this whole podcasting thing is freaking awesome. It's been such a cool way to build community and reconnect with people who I haven't talked to in a super long time. I've been having people from high school reach out to me. I've been having my patients reach out to me, family, friends. It's seriously been really, really fun being able to hear from so many people who have been listening to these episodes and my interpretation of a lot of things that have happened in my life so far. And so if you've been thinking about starting a podcast, it's a really, really cool way to reconnect with a lot of people. In fact, I've been hearing from family and friends who are sending me emails who saw different things happen to me, but now finally hearing my interpretation of how that has now changed my life and my big takeaways from that. They're starting to share with me what they've taken away from it and how they're starting to implement it into their own life, which has been super, super cool. Like, that was the whole purpose of starting this podcast in the first place. In fact, 2 days ago, I had somebody reach out on Instagram who I haven't talked to since high school. So since 2004 or 2005. And what they said was, "Wow, Jordan, it's been so fun listening to your podcast. I can't believe you've had so many hard things happen to you. That must be why you've grown so much." And it took me quite a while to respond because I didn't really resonate with their interpretation of what I've been expressing so far. So I know I've been expressing a lot of things that have happened to me, but now, after the fact, looking back at these things over some time, I have these different life experiences that have provided a lot of value and meaning and purpose to my life. But to say that I've grown so much because of the hard things that have happened to me is a little bit backwards, in my opinion. I think the easiest way for all of us to grow and grow quickly and exponentially towards a specific goal is when we knowingly put ourselves in challenging situations, get out of our comfort zone on purpose, because we know we want to have an intended result. And so the difference between having something happen to you versus knowingly putting yourself into challenging situations because you know it's going to take you to a specific place and time or achieve a certain thing that you want to achieve is vastly different. So I've shared a lot of things that have happened in my life, but really I came from a very loving, very safe, very stable household. And I feel extremely grateful for doing that. Like, my parents, my mom and my dad were always there for my brother and I. They took us to all of our practices. They took us on awesome vacations. They provided really, not anything we wanted, but really, like, if we really, 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 really wanted something or wanted to do something, they're there to help us do that thing. And we didn't really have a lot of the same challenging family dynamics that I know a lot of my friends and people that I'm close with currently have gone through. So I don't have that same dynamic, but I feel extremely grateful to come from such a stable and loving and safe household. And I've been able to watch and witness over time that the people who had a lot of hardship in their childhood, those people, at least for the people I hang out with currently, have a lot of purpose and meaning and value and a lot of gut-given drive for why they do a lot of things that they do currently. And I didn't have those same situations. That's not what gave me purpose and vision and value and drive. For me, I had to put myself in challenging situations to be able to grow. And so by doing tons and tons of different sports, by pushing myself physically, that was an opportunity for me to constantly put myself in challenging situations. So the biggest thing that I did was cross country and track. So by being a distance runner, the entire purpose of becoming a distance runner is to get faster. That is a specific goal and a way to know and measure your progress over time is like, how much am I willing to suffer on a continuous daily basis so I become so fit that I get better and better and better and continue to get these personal records. So for me, it was like in high school, how much can I push myself on a daily basis? Waking up early, doing weekend long runs. In college, it was doing 90 to 100 to 116 mile weeks, living at altitude with my teammates, training at high altitude where you could barely even breathe, living in a high altitude tent around my bed my last couple of years of college, like all these things I could possibly do to continuously push myself into that suffer zone, continue to push myself so that I knew that my body would respond to these levels of stress. And over time, eventually, I would achieve the desired result, the desired level of fitness, the desired time in order to continue to get better and better and better. So I had to put myself in constant situations for growth that was very, very uncomfortable because I knew it was going to a place or achieve a desired result that I wanted and that it meant a lot to me. You know, the challenging situations of running and biking and swimming and aqua jogging and lifting, all these things I was doing in high school and college, I don't really do that stuff anymore. So like once I got into chiropractic school, it was like, what is this next thing that I want to be able to achieve? And the biggest one for me, really, apart from learning how to adjust and being a masterful chiropractic adjuster, was the public speaking side of things. That every single Friday, people would come into our school and they would do these big seminars. And every single Friday, every week of the year for 3 years, you heard a lot of people talk. On top of that, going to different weekend seminars and hearing all these professional speakers and starting to get into a lot of online programming, I recognized that the people who moved me the most, the people who got me out of my seat and got me to take action the next day were the best speakers. They're the best communicators. They had really emotional stories, and they were able to drive emotion at a heart level deep within me every time they're up on stage. And so I knew that was something that I wanted to do. I didn't want to be somebody who, when you're up on stage, all the information is just going past your head. I'd rather be looking down on my phone, looking at Facebook or Instagram or texting my friends rather than being engaged with this person that was communicating to me and sharing all their life wisdom and hardships and challenges and lessons learned so that they could give that to me and I could apply it to my life. I wanted to be a great communicator, and it scared the shit out of me. In college, in high school, even in chiropractic school, just sitting in class, if I knew that the teacher would possibly call on me, I would start sweating profusely. Seriously, to the point where I wore 2 shirts. I wore like 2 shirts every single day in high school because of how nervous I would get that I would have to talk in front of other people. And so I was never a great public speaker. If I did have to do some sort of presentation, I would literally write out word for word and read it over word for word X number of times, so that eventually when I got up there to speak in front of people, I was literally just memorizing and rehearsing and saying everything word for word to the point where there'd be 0 mix-ups. Now these days, I literally just come up with a thought and just let it flow, and whatever innate wants to shine through, I just let it go. But it took a lot of hard work. And so I recognized what I had to do. If I wanted to be that person who was a great communicator, I had to put myself in challenging situations. And so we started a TikToking club on campus, which is basically a Toastmasters for chiropractors. So every single Friday, we would go up and we would be able to present on some sort of topic in front of our peers. And this gave us opportunities for us to challenge ourselves on a daily basis. And so I started the club with a good friend, Paul Fairley. We got all these people, and I think I did maybe one of the first ones. But then after that, I fell out of that area of, or I fell into the area of comfort and instead started becoming just the video guy. I was so moved by all these talks that instead I decided, hey, what if I film all of these and put them on YouTube, call it the Life Series, and then people can have these awesome ahas and moments, and they can hear about health and healing and all these cool things that we were learning about in chiropractic school. And so almost a year went by where I was just the video dude. And so instead of pushing myself into that level of uncomfortability, pushing myself out of my comfort zone, trying to rehearse and engage and get better at public speaking, I just fell into this area of comfort. It wasn't until we eventually did this really big event on campus called Step Into the Future, where we had students from all these different schools come, and we were going to be able to speak in front of a few hundred people. And Paul and Brett were like, why don't you be one of the speakers? And I was like, my heart started to race. My breathing increased. I started to sweat. I might have even started shaking a little bit. I was like, oh, yeah, okay, I guess that sounds good. And really, I was dying inside. And from this, I chose to get out of my comfort zone. It made it easy being surrounded by my peers who were also going to be doing the same thing. But this is the first opportunity I had to speak in front of a few hundred people. And in that moment, I was scared to death. But once I was on stage, I knew that I was taking action to pursue something that I wanted to be great at. And after I left that stage that day, when people started to applaud, I went and sat down with my friends, and I got to reflect on the coming days. I had a giant smile on my face. I didn't care what people thought about it. I didn't care if every word was perfect. I cared about the fact that I got out of my comfort zone, and I did the thing that scared the shit out of me. And ever since then, I've continued to be on this path of becoming a better speaker, to become better on video, to become better in speaking in public at different workshops and community events, and now starting to do this on a podcast. This is never something that was easy for me. And still, every time I do a video, there is that moment of being uncomfortable, but I've done it so much repetitively over time, and I've put myself in that area of discomfort because I knew to be a great speaker, I had to become uncomfortable. I had to choose to jump over that hurdle and break through the wall. And over time, I would get better and better and better. And so what is that for you? What is it that you want to be in the future? If you have a specific goal, what are the qualities of those type of people or of that goal that you need to be able to possess in order to achieve that thing? And as you start to write these type of things down, there's probably going to be a few of them that are scaring you. There'll probably be some that make you really uncomfortable. And I want you to make the conscious decision to get uncomfortable. And the more that you can do this and be surrounded by your peers, you're really going to be able to start to grow, and you'll notice yourself on an exponential basis day after day getting better and better and better, and your self-fulfillment and value in yourself will continue to grow as well. Because I don't think that we grow from the hard things that happen to us. I think that those bring a lot of purpose and meaning to our life, and they help drive the areas for us to continue to push out of our comfort zone. Those things that happen to us drive our constant desire to then grow. And so what is that for you? I hope that you write it down after you listen to this. Know that everybody you listen to, everybody you see is going through some sort of hardship. Anybody who you see who is successful, you see the success now, but you don't see all of the challenges and the hard things that they chose to do on a daily basis to achieve the desired success that they have now. And so I want you to start to think about, how can I put myself into challenging situations, knowing that the best way to grow is when I know that I am choosing this path of growth rather than forcing it to happen to us because some type of bad thing happens to us. I love and appreciate all of you. I hope you got a ton of value out of this podcast. I almost said video. Maybe I'll do videos in the future. Video podcasts could be cool too. If there's anything you've been wanting to hear, if there's been any big takeaways or questions that come up, or just insights that you have from listening to this, please reach out to me. I've been loving the community vibe that's been I've been attracting because of starting this podcast, and really all of this is for you. So I love and appreciate you. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. Until next time, take care.